What's up, guys? Welcome to SLC Punkcast Live and Wired. I am your host, Eric the Unit Norris, and this is the portion of our show, SLC Punkcast, where we tell you about shows that we have attended. Well, I tell you about shows that I've attended. Sometimes Dustin does. And we tell you about shows that are happening in and around the greater Salt Lake. And yeah, there has been quite a few shows that have happened in the last week, two of which I attended. It was a pretty hefty weekend for me. And I just played a show last night as well. It was the Slug Localized show that my band Apathetics played with punks and punchlines. But I'm going to save that juice for next week's episode because I already have a lot to talk about with this one. I was pulling double duty. For one show, I was hosting at my house, and then the very next day, I had to hightail it on up to Ogden to play a show that was a benefit for the Alzheimer's Association, put together by the guys in Hi-Fi Murder. So, yeah, this is going to be my tales from the pit. Punks aiding the annihilation of Alzheimer's. There we go. So yeah, the first show at my house, it was kind of funny. I did not know about the show. Well, I mean, I knew about it, but I forgot about it until a week and a half prior to showtime. When one of the bands on the bill, it was, there were a couple of different bands. It was either Plumeria or Sectide and then I see it's a flyer for a show that's coming up, and it's at my house. And that was one of my, oh crap, I forgot moments. So I immediately texted everybody. I texted John like, hey, I guess we have a show coming up on the 15th. Are you good to work the door? And then I text Bryce like, we have this show. Can you work sound? And thankfully they were available. I go, okay, thank God. Crisis averted. But now I just gotta make sure that everyone is still playing. So yeah, it all worked out. I mean, the show obviously happened, but it was just kind of a funny moment. But yeah, I get off of work, and it wasn't the 15th, it was the 16th. Anyway, I get off work, I come home, and then I am greeted by the guys in Sectide who have arrived early. Well, half of them arrived early, but it was awesome. They were right there, and I go, hey, guys, good to see you. And the whole, salutations, thanks for having us back, we're stoked to play the show, yada, yada, yada. And that's kind of how it started. And then over time, the band started funneling in. They started getting all their gear. I was showing them where to go and whatnot. And then Plumeria takes the stage first. I found it kind of funny. There were the bands whose logo was the biggest on the flyer, and they're playing first. I mean, it's whether you play first or last, it's a local gig. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are on the bill. It's just kind of funny when you see the band with whose logo is the biggest on the flyer. You assume that they are the headliners. That's just in my experience, but whatever. That's just a stupid little thing. It doesn't matter. But Plumeria, they set the stage. They really got everybody moving. They had good presence. They set the mood for the show, and I was thinking, all right, nowhere to go but up. And then Sectide followed, and Sectide, I've had them play before, and they are an absolutely brutal band. I keep telling them, they're the type of sludge metal that hardcore kids can really throw down to. It's very acid bath, very crowbar, and even hints of early, well, not early, but old school. They used to call it the new school hardcore, which, of course, for bands like Earth Crisis, Snapcase, Integrity, what have you, they had those moments on there. But they really brought down the house. I really love what Sectide is doing, and the people they attract. I mean, this was an all ages $5 show, so a lot of kids showed up. And the kids go fucking ham. They were getting ruthless, and they were just loving every minute of it. And I told them after their set, I was telling them how great they played, and I said, my band Anonymous needs to play on a show with you guys because we love your sound, we dig your vibe, and we dig your crowd. The people you attract, those are the people I want to play to because the kids go crazy. It's like, yeah, go nuts while you're still on your parents' insurance, I keep saying. Yeah, but they were awesome, such awesome dudes, an awesome band. Yeah, I really hope they stick around longer. Oh, and I asked him, like, you have stuff recorded, right? Oh, yeah, let me get you a CD. And he hands me this jewel case, this empty jewel case. No sleeve, no artwork on it or anything. And inside is one of those blank compact discs. Well, it's not blank anymore, but written in Sharpie, Sectide. And their whatever their EP's name is. I can't remember what else was written on there. But I say, hell yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I love the bands still do that for their for physical media when you don't have the materials or the funds necessary to make an actual CD, make it look like a CD you would buy in a store. Yeah, sometimes this this DIY route is the way to go. Then Baghead played the next set. They took the stage, and I gotta tell you, Baghead was not what I was expecting. I don't exactly know what I was expecting. Baghead. I assumed that they were just like another power violence band or another grind band, something adjacent to that, or even a slam band. Those are popping up a lot these days. But no, it was actually just very fast, straightforward, energetic, hardcore punk. Like, the stuff that you hear from the West Coast back in like 1982. That style of hardcore. And I was so stoked on that. I think there are no bands that do that anymore, at least not in Salt Lake. So I was so welcome to that fact. Just balls to the wall, no frills, hardcore punk. They absolutely fucking killed it. They had such a great presence, such a great attitude, a lot of energy. They even covered Suicidal Tendencies, the Subliminal. And that was when I decided to go and grab one of the mics. Oh yeah, they all rotated who was the lead singer. Sometimes the bassist was singing, sometimes it was the guitarist, and sometimes the guitarist and bassist would switch, and they would do, they were just kind of doing instrument roulette. And anyway, I took over the guitarist's mic. I didn't take it over, but I was just going right alongside him, they're fucking with me, subliminally. And then at one point, I just said, I'm going to take this mic stand, and I just stuck it right into the audience, like, come on, you all know the lyrics, sing it with us. And they did. Oh, did they? It was a great time. I don't want you to feel like I'm commandeering your set, but this is my mic and my stand, so I'm going to commandeer it. It's all about crowd participation, and even the host can participate. And they also did a cover of Hybrid Moments by Misfits. That got everybody hyped up. Me and Bryce, we were just alongside each other. We didn't go and hog the mic, but we were just like having a moment singing Hybrid Moments because he loves the Misfits. I love the Misfits. Who doesn't love the Misfits? Well, a lot of people, and I can understand why. So bottom line, Baghead ruled. They ruled their set. And then the last band, the band to close out the night, that was Luxic. And Luxic, they were, they had played the house before, and they did great that time, and they did great this time. A new energy. I mean, every band had like their own energy to bring to the show. It was kind of a mixed genre, all within the realm of heavy music. But regardless, Luxic had more of an old school, like post-hardcore kind of screamo vibe about them, and people were responding. People were going absolutely nuts because they had some pretty heavy fucking breakdowns. And yeah, that was the thing. The pits were absolutely nutty in my house in that garage. It was a fun time. And yeah, Luxic was definitely a very strong closer. And yeah, the show went off without a hitch. Everyone was everyone was vibing, everyone was chilling, people were being awesome. That's the way it has to be. That's the way it needs to be. So another successful show at the Poseur Palace. We got a few more coming up, a few more that I am working on. There's it's a lot of stuff is still up in the air, still waiting to be solidified. Well, like, we have the dates, now we just need the bands. And, of course, all the schedules have to line up. But it will happen. It will happen. Anyway, so the next day, my schedule was pretty damn loaded because Apathetics are also recording their follow-up to the album we released 2 years ago, Last Rites. And yeah, we're going to be releasing an EP, so we were in this weekend to record 4 songs. And we're going to have to schedule more time because apparently one weekend was not enough to record them. Like, we spent, that all day Saturday we were working on getting the drums. No, that was Friday. Friday they were getting the drums. Saturday we were just getting the guitars. And I haven't even began on my bass lines yet. So I am kind of annoyed, but it is going to. But recording is one of the biggest pains in the ass about being in a band. It's one of the most tedious and also kind of humbling experiences because you think you're doing something cool live, or at least it sounds cool when you're playing it live or when you're jamming it, but when you have to sit down and actually record it and analyze it through a microscope, that's when you realize, oh, maybe this didn't sound so good. Well, fuck. So yeah, we're not exactly to that point yet, but there have been some compromises that needed to be made, and I'm sure still need to be made because I'm looking at how Josh is playing a certain riff, and I'm thinking, oh, my fucking bass line doesn't add up to that. I've been playing that the whole time. You're playing this note? Yeah. I won't bore you with the details, but because we're not here to talk about behind the music. We're here to talk about the shows. And there is one more show that I still need to talk about. And that show was the benefit for the Alzheimer's Association. And that was a show that was put together by the guys in Hi-Fi Murder. And they originally asked my band Apathetics if they wanted to play, but we couldn't swing it that night. So we decided that, so we asked, well, what about my other band, Anonymous? We can do that. So that was how Anonymous got on that bill. And we couldn't have been the band. We couldn't have been any more of a band that stuck out like a sore thumb. We were the heaviest band on that bill, and we played first. But I introduced us as the band that played heavy, easy listening. But people loved us. People absolutely loved us, and it was our first time playing in, my first time. No, actually, it wasn't even my first. It was my second time playing in the Kamikazes bar, and Kamikazes is awesome. And my friend Bobby, great sound man. He knew what he was doing to make us sound good. He made everybody sound good, but it was awesome for our sound to be put in the care of someone who knew what he was doing. So yeah, we played a pretty decent set. People were all about it. My friend Dylan, or Dozer, some people call him, he was the one who was always consistently dancing. Probably because he was like the only noticeable hardcore kid there, and he was already drunk, so he had no filter when it came to dancing. So he was dancing the whole time. It was fun. Yeah, fun set, fun opening to what became a pretty awesome night. The band that followed us was MPNK, and Mr. Pistachio No Knob. I don't know what I think their name just kind of stands for whatever they want it to, whatever you want it to. It's just whatever it is, but they had a pretty good set. They're still a band that plays mostly cover songs. They have originals. They played their originals and it sounded great. And And not to say that their covers weren't also great. Their covers were awesome. They did songs by the Ramones. They did songs by the Sex Pistols. They did songs by the Misfits. And yeah, it was just some of the classic stuff. Oh, and I'm pretty sure they did one by No Effects. I can't really remember, but yeah, if they play covers, they at least made them sound good. Sound really great. I remember when they did the Ramones song, Bonzo Goes to Bitburg. And yeah, me and my friends, we all just started dancing around and singing very hard because that's my favorite Ramones song. I've heard three bands cover that song. One was a Detour. They did an entire Ramones set way back in 2017, I want to say, or 2016. And it was all, they did a Ramones set for Punk Rock Halloween, and they covered that song. I heard recently Atypical Heroes. They covered that song, gave it a ska overhaul. It was pretty fun. And now I've heard MPNK do it. And my band, Apathetics, we covered that song. So technically 4, but I'm not really counting the one that my band played. So it was fun hearing their stuff. And also, kid, we took your guitar stand by mistake. And we know it's yours because it has your name on it. But all of our gear is all kind of packed in the same place, so mistakes happen. So we'll get that back to you. Don't worry, it's in good hands. It didn't get stolen, just was misplaced. Anyway, MPNK they played a great set, super fun. And then the mighty Captain Daniels comes back out on stage, and they come onto stage, and I'm seeing them yet again. I've seen them so many times. I've lost count of how many times I've seen Parker and company just absolutely rule the stage with with basically their pirate-infused folk punk sound. And they were a lot of fun. I absolutely love watching them. And then the last band of the night, Hi-Fi Murder. Hi-Fi Murder absolutely just destroyed it. Though I gotta say, they've been playing the same set for the last few times I've seen them, right down to the same cover song, which is Cockspar, the Because You're Young. Yeah. And I'm just chilling. I'm like, yeah, I'm digging it. Hi-Fi Murder, you always put on a good show. Your songs are awesome. Yeah. Although I do wish that there were some of the older songs in the set list. Like, I really wish they would play The Goonies. I wish they would play Bad Intentions. I wish they would play, I can't remember the title of the song, but fuck the police, I've been okay. People were revolting, there were riots in the streets. But I guess there's a reason that they don't play those. I did not ask why, though I do miss hearing those songs live. I really do. They were always fun when they sang it with their old lineup, like the lineup they had before. I'm skipping on his name. I want to say Nick. He was their drummer. Now he's their vocalist. So, yeah, and not to dog on him. He does a great job. I just miss certain songs. That's all. And one funny thing about Kamikazes, they have in their general section, the general admission area, the dance floor, they actually have surrounding chairs, and they are surrounding tables, and they have these chairs on them that all have wheels. And I like to try to incite somebody take the chairs, or people take the chairs, and they, start a pit with them. And people did that during Hi-Fi Murder's set. I wish I got them to do it during my band's playing, but, whatever. As long as they ended up doing that. And there were people just going around and spinning in circles or getting twirled. Someone is pushing them in a circle around the dance floor in these chairs. I'm like, yes, let's get a chair pit started. I love it. I absolutely love that. This is why we do live shows. This is why we go to live shows. This for stuff like this to happen. We have cool stories to tell, which is exactly what I'm doing now. So those are my tales from the pit for today, folks. And yeah, I guess what's left is I got to inform you about shows that are happening within the next week and a half. And there is quite a few, some of which land on the same day. So let's get into that right now. Basically, we're just going to end out the month. So these are the rest of the shows that I have listed that are just going to complete the month of January, and we will do so we'll do so on the 24th. We have the Council of Doom, which includes Burial Site, Room, and Plumeria. Going to be a really heavy show that's going to be up at Black Lung Society. It is $10 if you are entering with cash, or $12 if you're paying through Venmo. And that starts at 7 p.m. On the 25th, Treason, Hoodoo Mama, and Venus Death Trap are going to be up at Aces High. That's an all-local show. It's only $10. It's only $10 because it's a bar. If it was all ages, it'd be $5. But give and you give a little, get a little. But yeah, $10 starts at 7 p.m. And then on the 28th, Catalyst, Empty Shell Casing, Dead Butterflies, My Pet Spider, Kick-Ass, and Two Heart 2. And that's quite a name. Going to be playing up at Black Lung Society. It is $15, and it will start at 6 p.m. Then on the 29th, I Owe This Land a Body. I absolutely love that name. I owe this land a body. Yeah, pretty dismal when you think about it. And Sutures and Masculine Artifice and Bloody September are going to be playing at One Love Coffee. That is a $12 show, and it's going to be at 6 p.m. Then after that, also on the 29th, Hastronaut, another band name that I absolutely love, and Del Lago and Moon Wizard going to be playing at Aces High Saloon. That is a $15 show, and that's going to be starting at 7 p.m. And then on the 30th and 31st, Box Elder is making their way down to not only Salt Lake, but also Ogden and Salt Lake. And they're going to be setting up, they're basically going to be setting up camp here. But yeah, on the 30th, they'll be playing up in Ogden with Frick and Knuckles and Molotovin. That's going to be at the ABGs. It's only a $5 show, and it starts at 9 p.m. because it's a bar show. Yeah, even in Ogden, bar shows are cheap. Love it. Then on the 31st, they'll be down here in SLC. They'll be playing with Frick and Knuckles and Molotovin again at the DLC, and that is a $10 show. Starts at 7 p.m. And guys, that's all the shows I have. Like I said, that's rounding out the month of January. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. I'm gonna have some fun during these in these upcoming days. But guys, thank you for joining me again this week on Live and Wired. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope that you are able to make it out to some shows, maybe 2, maybe 3 if you're being adventurous. Just kind of depends on how old you are and how many bands you actually like. But depends on stamina and free time and passion. But it's going to be a fun time either way. I'm excited. And yeah, I hope you're able to make it to some shows, and I hope that you have a good time. I hope that you are safe, and I hope that you return unscathed. But if you don't, you'll have a cool story to go along with it. Once again, I'm your host, Eric the Unit Norris. Gonna turn it over to Dustin now. He's gonna cover everything nationwide. And yeah, until next week, guys, thank you for watching us. I am the Unit, and I'll see you in the pit, motherfuckers. Take care now.
Thank you, Eric. And now we will go around the world as per usual. No particular order because I don't have time to organize all these, even though there's only like 7 of them. Anyway, let's get to it. First, I'm going to jump into today, the 24th. There's an all-ages show. I believe this is in Coeur d'Alene, so maybe Idaho, Black Lodge, if I've got it right. You get to go see Big Mosquito, Wicked Issue, CI, and Docs, DOCS. So go check out all of those bands. You can see the cities that they're from. It's $10, 7 p.m., once again at Black Lodge. Then in California, our pals in Battle Flask, and when I say ours, well, POW Records is going to be releasing that record that they're doing their record release show for on vinyl, but we're a few months out on the vinyl, but you can definitely go out and check out why you'll want to get the vinyl. Angry Samoans, Battle Flask, Vintage War that features Joey Briggs, and Trigger Damage, Slow Decay as well. $20 at the door if you wait till the 31st. Otherwise, it's $15 in advance through Eventbrite. It's at Mrs. Olson's in Oxnard, 18 and older, a 7 p.m. show, so go check it out. Then we've got Bodies in the Basement, Volume 3. This one will be February 7th, featuring Mad, Peaceful, Badass, X-Rated, Cause of Death, Enjoy Ska, Done is Done, and all of that. Where's the venues? At Back to the Grind in Riverside, California. It's free to all ages. Look at all those bands you get. 6 p.m. If you're not doing something and you're somewhere in the area, get there. And on top of it being free, if you're one of the first 25, you get a free show poster. So show up. Very cool. Go celebrate Julia's Punksiniera. Congratulations, Julia. Then we're going to do some hardcore in the 914. This is in Yonkers, New York at Corner Pocket. You'll get to see Non-Residents, Burden of Chris, Shaka, Cult Dialect, and General Grievance. There we go. That is a show that starts at 7 p.m. Also all ages. That one is $10. Very inexpensive, $2 a band, and that will be today, January 24th. Then we've got a Punk Collective presents Fester Youth, also today on the 24th. This is in Wilmington, California. You get to go see Recoil, Odio, Dead Entertainment, Los Brigands, Disfu, who else? Recoil, Victims, Odio, Fester Youth, Offshore, Disfu. There we go. I think I got them all. Fester Youth, the headlining band, of course. $5, and it's a 3 p.m., so get there. That's shortly after this is coming out for sure, but it's California. It's an all-ages show. Love all the all-ages shows. There are drink and food for sale, so don't bring any outside beverages. So if you're in Wilmington, you know where to be. Then on Saturday, February 7th, over on the East Coast, this is probably Baltimore area, Post 4-1, let's see, Sissel Saxon. I don't know exactly where that is, but our pals in Dead End Lane out of Baltimore are playing the show with Fashion Crime, who's in Pennsylvania, so maybe it's one of those two, Pennsylvania or Baltimore. And then you also get to see Apollo 66. It's 8 p.m., and it's all ages free show. Love the free show and all the all ages. That is pretty fantastic. Next up, we've got our pals in Knockoff doing some shows. Their January show has come and gone on the 10th in London, but in February, and you can see the rest of the flyer because this is their whole year, but in February, they'll be in Bristol on the 7th, Derby on the 13th, London on the 14th, and Manchester on the 28th. So go check out our pals Knockoff. Love Knockoff. Andy's awesome. And then finally, a Punk Collective presents on January 31st. This is in Compton, California. Some of the same bands we were just talking about playing. You get Dead Entertainment, Disfu, Odio, and then, a couple of the other bands you see on there. Sleeping Society, PDW, I think, Combat. I can't read what that one says. The Victor... I don't know. Anyway, go be surprised. I would be surprised if I show up. Anyway, drink and food for sale. Doors are at 5. Again, all ages show. It's only $5 to get in. Thank you for tuning in this week to Live and Wired, Eric's Tales from the Pit. We'll be back again next week. We'll catch you then.